Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to Two Non-Yarn Snobs, a podcast about fiber arts.
That's Sabrena.
That's Anna. And we're coming to you from Central Arkansas. Admin. You can reach us. Follow us on Instagram at Two Non-Yarn Snobs. You can email us at twononyarnsnobs@gmail.com. And you can reach us on Ravelry. I, Sabrena, am JD's girl, and Anna is Joey's rip. Woohoo! Life updates?
Yeah.
We had Labor Day in the United States, and we took the child to the Choctaw Labor Day Festival powwow, and it was a 3-hour drive through the mountains, because we live in Arkansas and everything's a 3-hour drive.
Through the mountains.
And everything seems like it's 3 hours.
Unless you live in the southeast part. Then
Yeah.
It's all Delta.
Well, I live in Central, and we drove into Oklahoma, went to Tuskahoma, and it was very hot, very muddy,
Very hot.
very muddy, like I sunk down in the mud and the mud covered my shoes, kind of muddy. And they had brought in hay and straw to put out on the mud, and it smelled like it came out of a horse stall.
And it might have.
And it might have. And we, Jerry's sister met us, and we caravanned, and the kids had a great time. We spent about 3 hours, and then we drove back home 3 hours, and
Jerry got overheated.
yeah, which that happens. I mean, it just happens. And it was fun, and the kid had a good time, and we're back to normal-ish. And then last weekend we went to an estate auction, which I wouldn't normally tell you about, but my husband got a $5 box, and this was down in the bottom. And these are vintage boy hooks. They do not have millimeters on them, just letters. And they have a really interesting finish. And I'm using one, and I really like it.
I feel like they're coated in wax to me.
They feel very odd.
It's a weird finish.
I like it. It works really well. And so I feel like this was worth the $5. Okay, so what's been going on with you?
Oh, not a lot of good. A whole lot of not good. One of Joey's cousin and his wife, they miscarried their first baby, right, but like a day or two before we last filmed a podcast. So I'm in the process of making a baby. They were so early in their pregnancy that they didn't even have a chance for a sonogram. So I'm making them a couple of things just to be a tangible keepsake, you know.
I think that is really nice, and I'm sure they're gonna cry, but just know that it'll be good for their heart too.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Then some friends of mine, their youngest sister passed away last week. She was 40.
Oh wow!
And she just died suddenly. They sent her for autopsy, but they don't have any results and won't have for up to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't have any. There's no rhyme or reason that they can come up with how or why.
Sometimes.
And she leaves behind a 9-year-old
Oh, that's horrible.
little girl.
Yeah. That's bad.
So it's not been the greatest couple of weeks. Tomorrow, for those of you that are not in the States, tomorrow is September 11th. It'll be 18 years since the terrorist since the terrorists flew jets into World Trade Center and the Pentagon and the farmland.
Yeah.
There are people that will celebrate their 18th birthday tomorrow that were born on the day of the worst terrorist
Attack
on the U.S. soil, which is just mind-blowing to me. It's just unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
And I think for our generation, it's the, where were you when JFK was assassinated? That's the way it is for us. For our parents, it was where were you when JFK was assassinated? For our grandparents, it was where were you when Pearl Harbor was bombed? And it's just because some idiot that was living in a cave in Afghanistan thought that America should die. Well, guess what? We didn't.
We're still here.
We're still here. We're still strong. We're still fighting back. And probably will until we draw our last breath.
Probably.
But, so depression-wise, I'm having a tough couple of weeks.
Understandable. Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
I go in a couple of weeks and get needles stuck in my eye again. So that should be fun. I did get some good news on Friday.
Okay.
I am done with the wound clinic.
Hoo-hoo!
Doctor calls my toe healed.
Yay.
This has been going on since Memorial Day weekend. That's the last weekend of May for those of you not in the States. I have to go back October 4th for him to make certain that I'm still doing well. But he calls it healed. And
But what a relief. You don't have to
Yeah.
go every Friday.
No, every Friday visit to Marlton to the wound clinic anymore. So that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
And I'm just tickled pink. Then on this coming Saturday,
Anna is hosting the spin-in for the Ozark Fiber Group.
we're having the Ozark Fiber spin-in at the schoolhouse in Jerusalem. That's 66 Schoolhouse Road. If you want to come join us or come watch or
Come say hi.
come say hello, whatever you want to do. And I think it's going to be a fun day.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
looking forward to it.
Knit, crochet, spin, weave. Any of the fiber arts
Oh,
are
and
definitely welcome.
I posted in the group for somebody to bring their peg loom to give you some pointers.
Oh yeah, because my peg loom was a big disaster. Maybe I'll bring mine.
It was not a disaster.
It was. But it's
It was
okay.
not. Nobody's first time on anything is perfect.
That's true.
Therefore, it was not a disaster. It was a learning experience.
It definitely was a learning experience. Okay, so on to
Okay.
finished objects. And we always start with kitchen items, dishcloths. So, what do you have, Anna?
I have a considerable amount. Well, I say considerable amount. Okay, this one
I'll hold. You talk.
is a dishcloth and pot holder. Actually, I have 2 pot holders in that colorway. That is, I love this cotton in the Paris in June colorway. The yellow is around the dishcloth is sunshine. But
And
it's
this is the same
it's-
color you did for your sister-in-law,
But
right?
that sunshine is
Peaches and cream.
peaches and cream. Yeah, and yes, that's the same colorway I did for my niece.
Oh, it's your niece. Did she like them?
Yes, she loves them.
Good.
Are you tearing it apart?
No, it has those little rubber bands sticking out. No big deal.
All right. This next set is pink peaches and cream pink lemonade, and again the border around the dishcloth is sunshine, also in peaches and cream.
Lovely.
So there's those. Then this one. I was shooting for Halloween colors. I thought I counted 35. I think I got 25.
It's a little one.
It's a little pot holder. But it's all peaches and cream, and I don't remember the colorway of the purple because
It's purple.
somewhere it's dark purple. And then the yellow and orange and white is called creamsicle.
It really looks like candy corn.
It does look like candy corn, and I said that when I got my very first cone of that, and I didn't understand why they didn't call it candy corn, but they call it creamsicle. So.
Okay, I have no dishcloths.
What?
I know, right? It just didn't happen. But I do have some household
Shame on you.
kind of items. It's a can cozy. My husband loves these and probably has a dozen and still asks for more. And it is can cozy for 8 ounce and 12 ounce cans by Tiffany Price. And this is Red Heart Super Saver in the
Fit around this one, would it?
probably not.
Mm-hmm.
In the color Glow Worm. Glow Worm. And I did alter the pattern some. I made it taller than the pattern calls for. because he likes it to go all the way up to where the can decreases. And he swears by them, and they don't drip on him, and they don't leave, like they work like a coaster, or if you set it on the table. He's a fan.
What yarn did you make that?
This is Red Heart Super Saver
Oh,
in the color Glowworm. And I always do them in acrylic. And they work. They absorb water condensation
And
comes
hold
off
it,
the
hold it.
can, and they don't drip on him, and he likes them.
that's
Sorry.
awesome.
I focused. I found. And the other thing I did was some coasters.
Which I think are beautiful.
And I did 4 of these, and this is from Nadia from Yarn Utopia. 365 days of granny squares. This is granny square number 54. And obviously I decided not to make it into a square because I thought they would be really pretty coasters. And I did 4.
Being lovely for somebody for Christmas.
Maybe mine. We'll see. Right now they're just going in the FO trash bag because I outgrew the tote.
My tote is full.
It happens.
Okay. Did you bring Patrick or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick is with us.
Now then this hat, there is no pattern for it. It's just a hat. It's the Unforgettable Waves. I don't even remember the color name.
Parade.
It's the one that you gave me.
It's Parade.
And I just made it off the top of my head.
She needs to write it up. It's a beautiful pattern.
I was trying to do it like that one that you did last time.
Yeah. It's really pretty.
But I couldn't remember the pattern.
Oh, no. I'll think of it here in a second. She just did regular hat increases, and then she did rows of half double crochets, and then 2
2 double crochet
clusters. And then
Yeah.
some single crochet around the bottom. But she needs to write the pattern up. It's a very beautiful hat.
Thank you.
Because if you're going to design, you should write them up.
Well, I wasn't really trying to design anything. I was just trying to make a hat and use up some yarn.
This is the chocolate bonbon beanie.
And grape and fruit salad. I love this yarn. Grape and fruit salad.
By
Fruit salad
Crystal
is this-
at Bag O' Day.
The fruit salad is this white with the speckle.
I really
color
like
on it.
the fruit salad. It's
I like the
very
fruit salad too. I started it, I got one sweater that on the needles that I'm making for me, and I made a baby blanket out of the fruit salad. It's granny squares out of the fruit salad and that one.
I like it.
So there's that one. And I make these on an H hook, and they, seriously, I think they're just as big as the ones that I make on a J hook. But that's all right, because I like a hat that comes down and covers your ears and comes
Look
low
how
on your neck.
beautiful that is. Fruit salad. I love this yarn. Chocolate bonbon beanie by Crystal at Bag O' Day. And Anna did a lovely job. I would wear this hat. This is beautiful. Any more hats?
Anyway, that's it. No, that's it.
That's all your hats? Okay.
I only have one other FO, and that's, so yeah, that's it for me.
I did a hat.
I'll hold Patrick this time.
And I did a ponytail hat. This is Bag O' Day. Tutorial number 624. And it's called a beanie hat for men or woman. Not women, but woman. And the yarn is Mainstays. Yarn color is taupe heather. It's an interesting enough hat. It is a bottom up, which I'm not a fan of. If you're crocheting a hat, I'm not a fan of bottom up. And if I'm knitting a hat, I'm not a fan of top down. So opposite. I like top down on a knitted hat, and I like
You like bottom up on a knitted hat and top
And-
down
right.
on a crocheted hat.
absolutely, yes, what she
Which is
said.
the way it should be.
Yes, and this one was bottom up, and so I made it, and I probably won't make another one, but it's a nice hat, and I'm pretty sure this is going to the Johnson County Youth Coalition, and some young girl with a ponytail will love it. Okay,
That's it for hats.
that's it for hats. I only made one this week.
I only have one other FO.
Okay, what you got? What you got?
All right, well, for the cousin and his wife, you know, I'm making them a baby blanket. I made them a teddy bear.
And yes, we know it needs a nose.
Anyway, I used the mother bear pattern. It calls for worsted weight and size 6 needles. I cut up a mandala.
Which is a DK.
And used size 3 needles on it. So,
And it's a lovely little teddy bear.
It needs the face finished, but
it's so lovely.
But it's a cute little teddy bear.
It really is.
I'm hoping they'll like it.
Okay, so believe it or not, and she knew I was knitting a toy, and I did not know that she was knitting a toy. This is a frog, and it came out of this Itty Bitty Toys book by Susan B. Anderson, and that green yarn is my hand spun. And you flip it inside out and it becomes a turtle. And the orange and green are both my hand spun. The rusty color I chose for the shell it's either Ella Ray or Galloway, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this one's Ella Ray. So, frog and turtle, and this will be for my son, who's told me when he was in 1st grade he was too old for yarn toys, and kind of paid no attention as I was working on this. And then it was sitting on the table by my chair, which is next to the front door, and he walked by and picked it up and said, "And this is mine?" And I said, "Not until after we podcast." And the pattern does have legs for the frog that come around the back, and the little feet come down here in front. I simply just ran out of yarn. This is all of the green hand spun I had with what's on the turtle. And I broke 2 size 4 double pointed needles working on this. So I ended up crocheting his legs.
But they look good.
They're fine, and I love them. And so frog and turtle. And my son will be very happy that he's going to get this evening. And then I have a deep confession here. I opened up a project bag and found this not finished. And it has to have been a whip that is probably 5 years old. I know I started on this while my mother was still alive, and she has been gone for a little over 4 years. And it is in the Topsy Turvy book by Susan B. Anderson, and this is Egg to Alligator. And my son likes it too. And so, even though he says he's too old for yarn toys, if you make him cool enough, he still loves them. So, Egg to Alligator. And those are my 2 toys. And I think I have one more FO. Remember the onion yarn, the gradient, the fade onion yarn that I dyed and we showed on the last episode? It won't even all show in frame. This is pretty good size wingspan. This is the Virus Shawl by Julia Marquette. And I dyed this yarn with onion skins. And it made a fade. And it was all in the same dye bath. And I think the stuff maybe at the top came out a little lighter than the stuff at the bottom, because I didn't want to agitate it too much. But it's a beautiful fade, and I love it. And I have made several virus shawls because they go so fast and they're beautiful.
This has got to be the prettiest one I've seen though.
I really like it. I'm real happy with it. It is 100% Peruvian wool, and it is a little bit itchy. It's a woolly wool, but
It's a rustic.
It's a rustic, and I'm fine with that. It's a shawl. It's not going to be next to your skin anyway.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It's pretty.
So on to works in progress. Whips.
I only worked on, well, okay. I made a couple of granny squares. Still trying to use up some grape and fruit salad, so.
Oh, you turned your granny square back and forth, huh?
Yeah,
That's awesome. I can see it in the camera, but I couldn't see it in person.
Well, that way it doesn't get wonky.
I do that sometimes, and sometimes I don't. I actually prefer turning.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to slip the couple of stitches over to the next
Right.
space.
Right. I just like slipping those couple of stitches.
Me too.
All right, what do you got, FO?
What about
Or
your
what?
baby blanket?
All right. Well, this is the start of the baby blanket. It's just a corner to corner. I'm using mandala in the Sphinx colorway.
And it's beautiful.
I stole 3 cakes of the Sphinx.
She didn't steal them. I told her she could shop in my yarn closet anytime.
And so anyway, I got 3. 2 of them will be the blanket, and the other one I cut up and made the teddy bear with it.
I have never cornered anything, and then
It's
I
super
thought-
simple.
I know. I mean, I've watched some tutorials and stuff, and I really thought about doing a corner to corner shawl this week, but did not. But it might be on my list of things to do. Okay, I have 2 works in progress from that I showed on the last episode. Haven't touched those. My garter shawl and a hat, because they lived in the yarn closet all week. Anyway, I didn't pull them out, but I did start a design, and it's an asymmetrical triangle, and it's curling really bad, so I don't know if it's going to work out, but you know, it's just yarn, and I can always pull it out, but I'm hoping once I put a border on it and steam block it that maybe it'll lay flat, and if it doesn't, that's okay, because it's kind of pretty all curly anyway. And we'll see. I may put this pattern out and I may not, but I'm working on it, and we'll see how it goes. And that's my only whip, because I'm fairly monogamous.
Because you're a slacker this week.
I am. Fiber adventures. Do you have any fiber adventures this week?
No.
Okay, I have quite a bit of fiber adventures. Or I have a lot of botanical dyeing or natural dyeing, however you want to call it.
I have a bad habit of rocking in this chair.
That's okay. So, all of this goodness, which that's pretty true to color, even back here. Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
This is, pretty sure this is sport weight merino. And this is cochineal with alum for a mordant. And this was in the same dye bath, and it's just a different base, and it is by Paragon, and it's a sport weight also, but they're just a different base, and I got a completely different color out of the same dye bath, and that's cochineal. Love this color. It's a pinky, purpley, lavender. This is definitely lavender. Really happy with that.
Mm-hmm. That came out really nice.
And then I still had color in the dye bath, and I didn't want to just throw it out. So I tried to exhaust the dye bath. And this is sport weight and fingerling weight yarns. And there are a lot of really tiny skeins in here, like 110 yards each. That's why there's so many tags. Because, you know, to experiment and things, you don't want to waste a lot of yarn. But I like that color, so I put it all in. And I think it's pretty close to the same color. I don't see, like, I still have color, and I just don't know how much I can dye before I exhaust that bath. And then this is Madder. Oh, it's looking really yellow. It's orange. Nope, it's just gonna blow it out. It's an orange. It's a light orange.
No, that's not gonna help.
It's not gonna help. It's a light orange, and it's a bulky weight. And I live in Central Arkansas. I don't really have much use for bulky weight yarn, but maybe some hats.
It reminds me of that first onion skin that you did.
It's
That's the
pretty
color that it's.
Pretty close, yeah. It's an orange and it has some reds in it. It's kind of lightly variegated.
Apricot-y looking.
Yeah, I like it. I really want brick red, like that dark bricky orange. And natural dye is just an experiment every time, and I'm keeping pretty good notes, and I know I need more madder root to get more color, I'm sure. And then I really enjoy going out and collecting plant matter to make dye. And I have lots of oak trees in my yard, and this is oak leaf on chrome. I use chrome to mortar the yarn. And then the last, I know that's a lot of dyeing I did. I don't know what got into me.
You've done quite a bit of dyeing.
So then we had the witch's brew going, and we showed you that. 10 weeks, and then stuck it in the pot, and after the first day it looked like wine colored, and I was like, eh. And then I squeezed it, and like almost all the color left the yarn, and I was like, well, that will never do. So I left it in there for several days until I just could not handle the smell.
Because it's an ammonia.
It's an ammonia,
It's ammonia
a fermented ammonia. And I had a lid on it, which helped some, but it kind of smelled like I had cats in the house. And I don't. And this is the color we got. That's pretty close right there.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very pale, pinkish
Very pale.
lavender. Very, very, very pale. And I originally was doing this for Anna, and I do have 4 skeins of bulky. I can't hold all 4. Maybe I can. Which would have made her something nice. 4 skeins would be quite a bit to make you quite a, 140 yards a skein. It'd make something. It'd be enough to make something with. Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not just dyeing 1 skein. I'm trying to dye enough yardage that you can do something with it, more than just a hat. And
Make a nice shot.
so I said, well, it's not my, and this is, and I really like color. You can't tell, right? I like bright, bright colors. I like oranges and yellows and even bright pinks, and I really like color. So this is real difficult for me to love, and I don't. But it's okay. And I thought, well, I wanted to show it to you anyway, because not everything is a success. And this is not a failure. Someone might like this. It's just, it's not for me. And I thought, well, if Anna loves it, she can just have it, And she looked at it and she goes, yeah, I don't love that.
I don't love that.
So I'm going to experiment.
Because I do like vibrant purples.
So I'm going to experiment with it, and I'm going to put it in an iron bath, and we'll see what happens there. I have some rusty trampoline springs soaking in water and vinegar to pull the iron. And I have a couple of rusty iron skillets that I've got water sitting in to pull the iron water off of. So I'm going to try to modify this with iron, and we'll see if it's something we like better. And if not, then
we'll put it in a giveaway.
We can over dye it. I can always over dye it with an acid dye. Which acid dyes are very predictable. You kind of know what you're going to get when you do it. So the yarn won't be lost. It will become something, but it does still smell. And I've washed this several times. It smells like ammonia. A little bit. And I put it outside in the shade for 3 days too, to air it out. Anyway, not all fiber adventures are a success. I mean, this isn't bad. It's just not, it doesn't trip our trigger.
Yeah.
It doesn't float our boat. Anyway, that's all my fiber
It's just
adventures.
not the bright, vibrant purple we were expecting.
Not, because you invest 10 weeks in it, you kind of want to see what you want to see. And it was 10 weeks. And then sitting in the dye pot for another almost a week. So that's a lot of time. And I mean, not like I was actively standing there for 10 weeks, but I was shaking the jar every day and yeah. Oh well.
Better luck next time.
Yep, it'll be fine. Either the iron will do something that we like, or I'll over dye it with something purple.
Will not go to waste.
Will not. No yarn shall be wasted, especially a wool yarn, right?
Right. So what else have we got?
I don't have
Got
anything
any plans coming up?
to go to
besides
the spin-in.
Besides the spinning?
That's it.
Um,
We're short and sweet this time.
yeah, we are.
What happened to us?
I got busy making a teddy bear and it took forever.
Yeah, knitted toys do take a while.
I may crochet the next one.
Well, crochet always goes faster.
Always.
But I like both.
Well,
I think there's a place for everything.
I've been crocheting for 40,
Not me, 2 years.
43 years.
2 years.
Since I was 6. About to turn 7, so.
And it's hot.
Over 42. And it's hot.
It is really hot. Okay, I know we're just a week away from fall. It's still in the 90s. And I see things on Facebook about people going in and getting a jacket or a sweater or fall's here and it's 90. My husband suggested we did the podcast today from the swimming pool.
That would not have been a bad idea.
He offered to film it while we floated in
That would not have
floaties.
been a bad idea. I have a healed up toe. I can finally swim.
She can.
I tried slicing my thumb.
Anna's a disaster. Gotta love her. Alright guys, we've talked enough. We don't have anything else to say. Until next time, have fun with your fiber adventures. Bye.
Bye.